Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And let us start by introducing ourselves. I am Lydia Lewin, and I'm a FinOps product manager at John Deere. Majority of my past work experience has been in banking, finance. I work for ANZ, Australia and New Zealand Bank in Melbourne. I work for Western Union. And for the last 3 years, I'm responsible for FinOps at John Deere. My focus at optimizing cloud cost. And today, Nimesh Rastogi.
Hi, this is Nimesh Rastogi. I'm a staff software engineer with John Deere. I've spent most of my career with them, almost 20 plus years. Before that, I worked in banking, finance, and e-commerce. And with John Deere, I have worked with channel distribution, manufacturing, big data, and now with cloud for the last 5 years.
Today, we would like to share with you our journey in managing cloud cost. How we went from showing cost optimization recommendations to acting on behalf of developers. Who in this audience heard of John Deere? Wow. What do we do? What are we known for? We are a renowned manufacturer of forestry, agricultural machinery, and heavy equipment. Do you know that we are manufacturing autonomous tractors? Our second generation autonomous tractor is equipped with computer vision, AI, and 16 cameras. This allows autonomous tractor process vast amount of data in real time to navigate fields, to avoid obstacles, and perform tasks with precision. With focus on innovation and development of new tools, if we did not prioritize FinOps, our cloud cost would continue to grow exponentially. FinOps is an integral part of Deere operations. Our first cloud application was deployed over 10 years ago. Since then, we fully automated daily billing, monthly chargeback. 99% of cloud charges are being allocated to teams who are responsible for that spend.
I'll do a minor correction here. It's 99.99%.
An engineer. Our allocation is based on tagging. We set up alerts, like very easy and versatile spend alerts. We send in monthly summary dashboards where we share in spend as well as potential savings and recommendations. We added ability to temporarily mute unrealized savings. We allow managers to mute based on a number of reasons, but mute temporarily, not forever. We automated some inefficiencies, and we're executing them on behalf of developers.
Yeah, so what we decided that we do on behalf of developers are only the safe operations that we can do, like GP2 to GP3 migration, or if we are setting up some log dates, we would do it automatically for developers. But for all others, we don't do it because we do not know the workload and the priority that they might be for the product team.
And here, I would like to share our philosophy at Deere. Our fundamental belief that FinOps is a shared responsibility. We, FinOps team, are there to provide tools and support, but responsibility, budget responsibility and accountability line with business units and product teams. You can see that what our team is responsible for. We we ensure visibility and transparency of cloud costs. We manage Horizon savings plans centralized. We generate savings and optimization opportunities and share with teams. We have benchmarks and KPIs. We identify areas of potential waste. We have tools. We are responsible for implementing tools that would help developers and product teams to optimize their costs. But fundamental responsibility for budgets lie with business capabilities and product teams. They make decisions based on recommendations we provide, but they have to juggle between financial responsibilities and technical. What they deliver and how they optimize, it's their responsibility. But let's go to the beginning. Here, I think I mentioned in the past that one of our core responsibilities is ensure that cloud cost transparency and visibility of cloud cost. Here, we are sharing our first dashboard. This is chargeback summary dashboard. Initially, 2016, it was developed for business unit leaders and financial analysts. Over time, use of this dashboard has grown. We added ability to select data on any level of TPC hierarchy, and ability to every persona who is responsible for cloud cost at Deere, ability to see their spend and usage. And a number of reports, spend and usage reports, grown as well. Can you see all the tabs on top of this folder? This is just only billing and usage reports. On this slide, we're sharing two more examples of these billing and usage reports. Again, we allow every persona who is responsible for portion of cloud cost to self-service and to view their spend and analyze their spend, to see usage trends, to see changes in spend after any changes being implemented.
And they are updated daily. So you can see your changes as soon as you deploy, and as soon as we have the billing data from cloud service provider, you can see your change.
Thank you, Nimesh. Good point. But, there's always but. 3 years ago, we realized that provide cost and usage, even an easy to consume form, is not enough. So what you see here is our monthly summary report, monthly summary dashboard. Once a month, once chargeback is completed, every persona at John Deere who is responsible for cloud cost will get variation of this dashboard. This dashboard will be tailored for their product or set of product, or for their application or set of application or business applications. Intent of this dashboard is to provide very short glance at trend and spend in main services, as well as optimization and savings opportunities. If you look on the right, you can see green graph. This is last 12 months spent, how this particular group is trending with their spend. And yellow line is their unrealized savings opportunities. Below, there is a graph where top 5 services that accounts for their spend. In the middle, we added 2 additional graphs where there are savings opportunities and optimization opportunities.
So the saving opportunities are opportunities where we have data to back up the amount of savings you will have if you work on these suggestions that we have for you. Whereas the optimization opportunities is the opportunities where we cannot tell you what percentage of savings you will be able to get. For an example, a team might be running a sandbox for a few months. That's an optimization opportunity if it is no longer required. But we can't say how much saving you are going to get if you need a part of it or whole of it for the future. So that's how we divided this into two. So the leadership has a better idea what actually is their total amount of saving would be.
And here we are sharing with you our heat map dashboard. To create a healthy spirit of competition, we created heat map dashboard. You can see green, amber, or red, depending on a percentage of unrealized savings from last month's total spend. It will be green if it's within Deere appetite.
So this has been a wonderful experience. Our leaders are very competitive and they don't like to see red against their name. So I'm not sure about your leadership, but it's a good tool.
And here, I would like to share with you overview of our overall cost management, cloud cost management process. You can see that we have reports for senior leaders. We have self-service reports for engineering managers. We actually forgot to mention that we have very detailed reports on optimization recommendation. So we have reports for developers, instance by instance. We have spend alerts and anomaly detection. We conduct monthly reviews with business unit leaders to analyze their spend, potential savings, and team up where they can optimize. We manage rates centrally. We send in monthly summary dashboard, as I just showed. We have automation to remedy some development inefficiency. We conduct training sessions to share good FinOps practices as well as a good development training. But what is a gap here? What is a fundamental challenge with this? No? All this happening after money already being spent. 2 years ago, Nimesh and I were here at San Diego, 2023. We weren't on stage. We were at our first FinOps conference. And Nimesh was on a mission to find a way to prevent waste from happening. By that time, we already experimented with open source code, but we came here and we were looking for ideas. And here, what has transpired. Over the last 2 years, our focus was shift left. Once you deploy resources, once infrastructure is deployed, money are being spent. So how far left can we go? Can we show potential cost impact to developers in a pipeline before infrastructure has been deployed? Can we enforce policies? Can we enforce guardrails? If potential spend above Deere appetite, can we ask for second review? Can we mandate tagging? Nimesh, why is this important?
Because, as an engineer, what happens when you ship the code? You are immediately focused on next thing that you have to deliver. So if now I come back and 14 or 30 days come back to you and say, hey, by the way, you can improve on this. It's already out of my mind. I'm working on something else. and now you want me to go back and fix it. And by the way, the PM may not be agreeing with my priorities of changing that. So we have lost that time, we have lost that context that the developer need, and even if they get the priority to work on it, they will have to go through the context and figure out whether it's the right solution or not. So that's take time. Well, before moving to the next part, how many of you would like to have detailed reports like this that Lydia was showing?
Oh, not many. I'm upset.
Okay. And how many of you love adding tags to your resources?
Oh.
Fewer hands, but still some hands. So I think that's our experience too. FinOps people tend to love tags. Engineers, they don't like that much. And all others, they just tolerate them because they're useful. So why am I talking about tags at this point? Because tags were the first part of the journey that we started with. And when we started tag, it was not a very useful solution because we were not doing it in the right way. So when we start doing it in the right way, there is only one tag, one mandatory tag that is maintained in one single repository enterprise-wide. And before we register a tag in that registry, we get IT ownership data, we get the financial ownership, we get the support ownership. So we know if something goes wrong in cloud on your tag resources, who are the people to call for? And if somebody is spending too much money, who is responsible for and who is going to be contacted if we need to fix that? And by the way, it was not a quick fix. It took us months of interaction with different product teams, leadership, to ensure that our tagging database was correct and in a useful state. So with that registry in place, what are the benefits? I already mentioned FinOps. Oh, sorry, Lydia already showed FinOps that we can do different level of costing. That is possible because with that single tag, we connect to our TBM. That is our technology business management, and technology product catalog is maintained there. So we can create reports at any level of TBM. And if the leadership wants at a business capability level, they can get it at that level, or if they want at a product level, they can get it at a product level. IT finance allows us to charge back, and as I said, 99.99%, I'm very proud of that. And ITSM, service management. We have tooling that can, when you deploy your code and you run into some issues, that will automatically create alerts in our ITSM system. And that will go to the right support group that was used at the time of registry. So with that, come to this simplified process flow. I wish our process was so simple. That would have been so easy to manage and support. But it is showing you in a broad outlines of what we do. We get cost and usage data from our cloud service providers. We get recommendations from them, and one thing that is not shown here is we have our own policy database. We have policies for, and we have data for our alerts when we want to send out alerts. At this point in processing, we enrich our data with the metadata that we have in our registry. With that in place, what it allows us to do is not only distribute direct cost that is incurred by our product teams, but we can distribute internal platform cost. So if your workload is deployed on our internal platform, whether it's containers or it's Databricks, we can distribute that cost to the actual owners of the workload, not the platform owners. So with that processing, we can do alerts, as Lydia said. You can set up at product level, you can set up them at a percentage or absolute amount. We create all these reports, we do chargeback, and we generate recommendations. Recommendation at instance level, which tells you how much cost you're going to save, what action you need to take. And that was our hope that that would be enough for our FinOps efforts.
How many engineers do you think looking at those reports? And when, if anyone looking?
That was the right answer. 0.
only after we conduct business review at the end of the month. And if there is a general manager or engineering manager see a high amount of potential savings, then directions go down to developers, optimize. That's our experience.
Yeah, so at this point, Lydia mentioned that we were looking for solutions to how to save cost early. And her boss kept asking me, like, why can't you just fix it for others? And I think I remember I wrote a 1-page, 10 bullet points, like why we can't do that. So it's quite a bit of journey from that point to actually doing something about it. So again, this is a summarization. Recommendation not always ends up being action because it is too late. It's not a priority. Require refocus. Developers have moved on to something new. So what should we do at this point? We have additional complication. Unlike many companies here, we do not own the central pipeline, deployment pipeline. Deere allows different teams to create their own pipelines. They have their own repositories, own pipelines, and own deployment. So where does a centralized team come and fix the issues that we are seeing? Fortunately, Deere has a position that we are working with GitHub as code repository, and infrastructure as code is our policy. With that in place, what every developer has to do before any deployment is made, they have to submit their code and generate a pull request. So when a pull request is made, that's where we have a webhook that we hook into and check all our policies and all our recommendations against that. So this is the diagram, simplified diagram for that process. Source code, developer made a check-in, pull request is generated, our policies are run, our recommendations are checked against, and based on that, developers are given feedback, and at this time, they have choices to make. If everything is okay, the deployment will proceed. But if everything is not okay, then they have 3 choices. They accept the change and proceed. They do not accept the change and snooze it because they cannot, because they don't accept it, and they accept it, but they can't make the change, so they snooze it. Why are we doing that?
We are okay with developers rejecting recommendation or putting a snooze. We don't know application. The developer knows their application the best, their product intention. They have knowledge. So for us, we just want them to pause, to make an active decision, and when suggestions are rejected or paused, we do an analysis. Either it's wrong recommendations or it's just applicable to that particular type of product, type of applications.
So with that, we have taken care of part of the problem, that anything new that is being deployed to cloud, we can go through our policy checks and fix it before it happens. But as I mentioned earlier, there are recommendations that for existing infrastructure that is in cloud. What do we do about them? So again, as Lydia was saying, it's a circle. You fix one thing, you find another, and then you go back to start thinking about that. So for that, this is a work in progress. We are working on it. The data, the graph is still the same. The only difference is we have AI in between. So when we are reading the data, we are trying to figure out which actual repository we have to go back and make the change, because that has been the biggest problem. You find a resource that is in cloud, you don't know where is the infrastructure as cloud file. IAC file is located in the GitHub. So we use some of the AI to figure out where that is, and then we generate a pull request. So the developer next time when log in, they can see that. So that's work in progress. With that, we'll be able to fix few of the problems, but we realize that not all cases can be identified with this approach. So we are working on another solution that is with our help with our sister team. And by the way, let me go back. I said single tag, correct? I'm going to contradict myself. There are more than one tag. But these tags are different. Developers do not see them, or at least not intentionally. So when they're making a change and they're using some of the tooling that we have provided, all the infrastructure ISE Terraform files will be updated with trace tags. And these trace tags will be deployed to cloud with the resources. So when we gather these cloud resources data from various sources, we will have additional tags that will tell us this particular EC2 instance, for example, was deployed from repository that belongs to another project. With that information, when we are creating an actual recommendation, we can go to that file and create a PR for that. That's a work in progress because it is going to take us time before that tool is 100% utilized in company. So that's another way of making sure that the developers have access to data when they want to make the change. And I talked about this before, the slide itself. So now with that, we can not only generate recommendation, we can generate pull request on the repository itself. Now developer only has to do one thing, look at that pull request, see if it makes sense, accept it. If it doesn't, do the rejection and other things as we discussed. I will end with a simple example of pull request that we are showing to our developers. Obviously, this is a made up. I'm not showing you a real screenshot. So, few things that are there to make life of an engineer easy. Reason. Why are we proposing this pull request? What policy it is violating, or what optimization that it can bring. Proposal. What is the change that you need to do to support that? Risk. Whether it's a low risk change or a high risk change. Low risk change, developer may be easy, more open to accept that. High risk, based on what their pipeline is, what their test confidence is, there might be some delay. And savings. How much it is actually going to save, if any. Not all pull requests are for saving. Some of them are for making sure that tech stack is updated and it is going to be supported for a considerable time. With that. So, are we satisfied with all this solution? As I said, you fix one thing, you find another. So PR is just part of solution. Creating a pull request is just one part. It's a part of the whole development lifecycle that product teams have. And as I said, Deere has different product teams. They have different setup. Not all teams are created equally. So not all teams can take benefit of this. So to make it easier for all the teams to accept this, we are working on improving the engineering practices in product teams, helping them improve their confidence of change. So when they introduce a change, they are confident that this is not going to break anything. So that is deployment pipeline upgrades and test coverage. With that, our hope is that more and more developers will accept our PRs, and they will not have to spend time looking at solutions for the things that we identified for them.
And with that, it's our last slide, our future directions. So we want to use our FinOps practice, our methodology and processes that we develop at John Deere, not just optimizing cost. We want to help teams to modernize their stack, to keep their stack modern all the time, and to maintain cloud health score. So we want to help our teams to drive towards elite engineering.
So some of the things that we are considering is that how quickly can you update your libraries or your open source dependencies? What version of software, maybe RDS you are running? Are you already in extended support if you are using AWS? Or you are going to be using in extended support in next 6 months? Are you deploying frequently? What is your deployment frequency? what was the last time the EC2 was deployed. If you have EC2s that are not deployed, let's say for 90 days, that could be a worrying sign that what's happening there. Some of them are even years. So are we even supporting those AMIs? Are we even supporting the things that are running on that EC2? So it's more on the hygiene and the risk factor and tech stack that we would be focusing on. I think that's it.
That's it. Any questions?
All right, well, let's give Lydia and Nimesh a warm thank you.
Thank you.
That was the easy part, folks. Now we're going to ask you difficult questions. So who has a question? All right. I won't throw.
Thank you. So the tool that you showed, is that you're in-house or you're partnering with third party? I don't know. I know we are not supposed to name the third party, but
We do have vendor, but we cannot name them.
yeah.
But it's combination.
Okay, it's combination.
Because we've been so long on cloud,
Correct.
when we started, unfortunately, there were no vendors. But yes, we're working currently.
so you're
Last 2
billing-
years, we're working with a
Yeah.
vendor.
So the billing portion where you did the automation part of it, the billing automation, where you showed different
We're
tasks.
using vendor, but don't think that it's easy. You have to build a lot
I'm
on your
sure.
side.
I'm sure.
So I think if I just add that all the billing and the chargeback and everything, that's custom solution.
It's
And-
in-house.
Yeah, and the part where we are shifting left and creating PRs, that's vendor assisted.
All right, thank you.
Hi, thanks for the talk. 2 questions, actually. Can you name the AI platform that you're using? And 2,
Can you say it again?
can you name the AI platform that you're using? A lot of the presentation talked about
It's
using.
our vendor. We can't
It's a
name
vendor
it.
solution. We cannot name that.
Okay,
Sorry.
and then the second question is, it didn't seem like there was a complete feedback loop. You guys were taking information from PRs, but there was no reporting coming back of what.
No, so I think we didn't show it, but that's why we have this snooze dismiss button. So we can over time analyze what PRs being accepted and what PRs are not being accepted.
Developer has 3 options. They can accept straight away. Developer can snooze. For example, if one of our drive, we want to help developers to migrate to Graviton. You can't expect them to say, yes, I'm going. They need time, correct? But it's snooze. And then something that is, if it's a great example, we have some solutions where they're using solution-specific EC2 types. And even there are recommendations of over-provisioning or underutilized. Even if we give them this PR, they can't accept. So they're going to reject it. So that's a point, that we trust developer, that they're making decision. We do have, we would make changes if it was constant rejection. Why? And plus, we allow mute. So if you're responsible for a product and you know that these recommendations is invalid, don't applicable to your product, or this application, or this recommendation, you're planning to rebuild this application in 3 months, or you're working with architect, you will just snooze, so those recommendations won't be there.
Intuitively, like your measurements would get a whole lot better, moving from something where people are assigned actions to being assigned pull requests. Can you share the number of days that were shaved off of this, or the percentage of adoption of the actions when you move to pull requests?
Not yet.
As I said, this is work in progress. So we have
Not
not
yet.
released it to all our teams. So we are
And
looking-
one of the things that Nimesh mentioned is a confidence. One of our challenges, because we have such a distributed environment, we have over 14,000 developers, different business units, different type of software. We want to do our developers trusting their pipelines that they can accept on the fly. So we need to help them to get to a point. Pipelines are redeployed regularly. There is a confidence. I accept the change. It's not going to break my old pipeline.
So do they have enough tests to cover it to ensure that they are going to be good position?
we understand that you cannot name the tool, and also understand that some of these costs are saved before they're actually spent. My question is, have you found a way to measure developers' response to the recommendations? And are you able to quantify that?
You actually listen, like you speaking, I just was talking to someone else yesterday, and it was an idea. We need not just measure how much saved, we need to measure how much developers' time saved.
Yeah.
It's on my agenda, sorry.
I had a question related to what you said about it's a work in progress, and you're kind of developing this, and then the interaction with the app teams, and then also the application, like the use cases of the submitting the PRs. Are you doing this for service tags to start, like resources that are not compliant for service tags? The policies, report you're out of compliance, and you generate a PR for tagging for the service, or are you doing for like right sizing recommendations or GP2 to GP3 type of changes? Like, are you kind of progressing these type of recommendations as you roll out this? I just want to ask about your thinking there.
Approach is to start with safe. Like we have a handful of GP2 to GP3, something that we feel it's safe, a developer can accept without any risks. What else? Extended support charges? No.
I think if I add there is that, yes, we are also looking for tagging, we are also doing for optimization, and we are also doing for Deere policies. So the tool is going to support any policies that we are going to create with it. So I think that was your question, whether we are just doing it for service tags or, so our tag coverage is for our mandatory tag, that's we are improving. So if the mandatory tag is not there, you will be flagged and you will have to take actions against it. And for others like optimization, compute optimization, or version change, because the version is getting extended support charge. So we have all those policies in place. The tool will take care of all of them or create PR for whenever it's possible.
Yeah, because we have such a different business units, like we have examples of they implemented the additional tag to switch environments down. So it's depending on the need of specific business unit. They can switch on and off what is more important for them at that period, what they want to focus on.
So when you show the demo or the screenshot on where you're extending or snoozing an instance, or when the action has to be taken, are you also implementing start stop if the developers are on leave, their environment is shut down or in a stop phase where the bill is not rolling? It's like lights on, lights off.
Sorry, can you repeat
the start and stop?
Yes.
Have you implemented start?
I think
we do not have control on their.
I think I confused with my previous answer.
Okay.
We have a business unit who implemented start and stop based on additional tag.
Okay.
So for that, they mandating additional tag. I think.
So you're using tag to start and stop? And
sorry, it's custom solution for one of our business units.
Okay.
So there. I can't speak for that.
Time for one more question. I lost my throw license, so I'll just walk.
Thank you both for your presentation. It was wonderful. I wanted to ask, when you collect this data, is there any type of follow-up? Does the leadership want to know why they're not acting? Is there a story behind that to understand why they decided to dismiss versus act?
Yes, so that's the intention. And as we are doing it, we are collecting the data. We have started asking that question, but is there a formal process? No, not right now. But that is the intention, that after some time we'll look at all the data, what was rejected, why it was rejected, whether it's the PR quality or whether it's the they don't have trust in their own tooling or on their pipelines. So
remember we have a few discussions with different groups, so it's not like, we don't have a statistic like Nimesh said yet, but we have feedback from groups where they so focus on the cost savings So if this suggestion to add a policy, question is, tell me how much do I save? So that's another barrier to us to overcome. So, and developers saying, my product manager does not care if I do it. So that's for us to move there.
All right, well, let's give Lydia and Nimesh one more round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, producer Andrew here. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. For more FinOps X 2025 content, go check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave comments and questions for all of our wonderful speakers. We appreciate your support.